Can Jamaica's Sachin become a world champion? Welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for making it Peter Lloyd World. Now please hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow. We have a personal goal of 10,000 subs, and we are getting there because of people like yourselves. Also, if you enjoy our content, please hit the like button. The algorithms love it. It pushes out the content, and people, it's absolutely free to hit that button. So hit that like button. Also, may I beg you, please leave a comment. I often learn a lot. Sometimes I don't agree with you, but I still learn. So, are you ready to discuss this? Are you ready? Yep, good to go. Now, 2022 looks as if it's going to be a very interesting men's 100 and 200 meter season. You see, with people like Christian Coleman back, world's fastest, Trayvon Bromell, Marco Jacobs, who shocked the world winning the men's 100 meter finals in the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, and of course Jamaica's own Tajay Gale, who Stephen Francis believes is going to become the fastest man in Jamaica. Can Sachin Dennis, formerly of Stets, make a huge mark on the sprint world? In February of 2017, Sachin Dennis, age 14, runs 10.66 in the 100 meters at the YGS, becoming the fastest 14-year-old in the world. A huge deal. 10.66, age 14. This, my friends, is a remarkable time for a 14-year-old. As I stated, he became, with this one race, the fastest 14-year-old. Not in the island, not in the Caribbean, not in the Western world, but in the world. Sachin Dennis' talent goes without saying. Any of us who have seen him represent Stets anywhere on the island, whether it is at Champs, whether it is at Western Champs, wherever, knows that this young man is an exceptional talent, improving consistently from year to year. Running that remarkable race at age 14, 10.66, the entire world of athletics became focused on this brilliant, mind-bending young talent. Now, one of the challenges of being a sprinter in Jamaica is that you're a sprinter in the country that has produced some of the greatest sprinters in the history of sprints. Johan Blake, Asafa Powell, of course, Usain Bolt, Donald Quarry, Elaine Thompson, VCV, the great Veronica Campbell-Brown, Merlene Ottey. I can just keep going and going. So sometimes we tend to forget that athletes go through stages. And one of the things that attracted me to doing this particular video on young Sachin Dennis is the consistency by which his times have been lowered in the 100 and 200 meters. You see, to be 14 and run that kind of time is almost seemingly an impossible task. But he improves upon that. Sachin Dennis of Stets wins the Class 2 finals at the 2018 Boys and Girls Champs at age 15, running 10.20 with a plus 2.0 win. 10.20, age 15. There are adult sprinters who are not running that race, and if you watch the previous season, the 2021 men's 100 meter season, you know that many of our top sprinters globally were not running 10.20. At age 15, Sachin Dennis runs this remarkable race. With that well-known bullet start, he's out of the blocks, and within the first 30 meters, he's already dominating, maintaining that speed right through the line, comfortably, winning by about a meter. Very good form, great drive phase, great top end speed, runs right through the line. 15 years of age, people. 15 years of age. 10.20. That is a huge improvement from age 14, where he ran the world's lead of 10.66. So the consistency with which this young man has improved and continues to improve is actually remarkable. I can't say it enough. Gets out of the blocks, bullet start. Within the first 10 to 15 meters, you can see it. He's in the middle of that field. He's already ahead. By the time he gets through his drive phase into his top end speed, look at those high knees. Relaxed, shoulders back, arms pumping. He runs right through that line, even dips on the line. 15 years of age. 10.20. Age 15. Now, if that doesn't impress you, I'm not quite sure what would impress you. A young man running the world's fastest time for a 14-year-old, running 10.66. 1 year later, running 10.20 with a plus 2.0 wind. Amazing. Let's look at him in the 200 meters. 2017 GC Foster Classic, the Digicel Grand Prix. Another dominant race. Within the first 20 to 30 meters, again in the middle of the field, you can see it, he's already there. When he hits that last 100 meter, he's a clear, look at this, 10 meters ahead of the entire field, runs right through that line, 21.10. You need to understand that that's an extremely impressive time. 21.10. He was 14 years of age. That's a phenomenal time, 21.10. 14 years of age and wins by a clear, you saw it, 10 meters, easily. Now, I honestly have had a feeling, Lord, and forgive me, that since I first saw this young man run at age 14, I have wished and hoped that he will evolve injury-free to becoming the talent that I know he is. Now, he runs 10.15 in a plus 1.1 win to win the men's 100 meters at the JOS JAA Olympic Destiny Series this year in 2021. Now, you have to look at this race in its perspective. Another remarkable improvement in time and speed. Again, he dominates. I want you to understand that he's running against his seniors. He's running against older athletes. And he dominates, absolutely dominated that field. 10.15. Now, when I saw this, my eyes popped out early this year. I said, okay, not only is Sachin Dennis back, but he's back with a huge vengeance. And I want you to understand there are a few pointers that I need to point out. First, he was running against much older athletes. 2, because he's now 19. 2, this may have been his second race since his return. I'll explain that to you, which was at Boys Champs. Second or maybe third race for the entire year. Are you seeing this? Look at his form, look at his drive. I mean, he's literally racing against the clock. There's no one there even close to him. Thirdly, he ran this race at 9 a.m. in the morning. And you may or may not know this, but most sprinters will tell you that it is not an easy feat to run at 9 a.m. in the morning. And still, he runs this kind of time. The other reason why it's important to note that he had not run that many races is that most athletes, as the season progresses, they tend to get to their peak. So for your second or third race for the season and you run 10.15, beating your peers by by at least 3, 4, 5 meters is important. Now, what most people don't remember was that on the 30th of June 2018, Christopher Taylor equaled Johan Blake's 100-meter national youth record, running a phenomenal 10.11. What most people do not remember is that in that race, it was Sachin Dennis who was leading for the first 70 meters, and I mean leading by at least a meter to 2 meters ahead of Christopher Taylor. I do not believe Christopher Taylor would have caught him. Around the 70 to 80 meter mark, it is evident that young Sachin Dennis suffers a terrible injury. Basically, he stops running. And he had actually slowed down from before. Now understand that Christopher Taylor won that race in a national time equaling Johan Blake's record of 10.11. That's really important. Look, I'm actually showing you the race here so you can see it. You see, he pulls up. Christopher Taylor would not have got him. And I am telling you that he would have ran, I think, somewhere around, looking at the lead he had, you can see where he starts to pull up. Taylor would not have caught him. And Christopher Taylor's nothing against him, remarkable talent. But I'm slowing it down for you. Look, pulls up, easily a meter to 2 meters ahead of Christopher Taylor. You see him pulling up, and that's it. Taylor won this in a time of, I think it may have been, excuse me, he ran 10.11. I suspect Sachin Dennis would have run, I'm thinking, maybe 10.19. Now, outside of the injury, there was also the issue of a custody battle that was going on between his mother and his dad, which must have affected this young man psychologically. Remember, we're talking about a young man who just turned 19 this year. He's just now 19. 2018, he basically stopped running. He was about 15 or 16 at the time. And there was all this controversy. He had the injury. He had that issue with his mom. But when he came back this year, champs, I think he ran 10.58. He won, but it wasn't the time that anybody expected. But I mean, I wasn't surprised. It was his first race out the gate. But people, he ran 10.15. 10.15 at the beginning of his season. 10.15. 19 years of age. And we have not seen him running consistently for quite some time. So I think it's kind of imperative to understand the level of talent that we're looking at. I'm hoping that this issue with his family, the back and forth between his mom and his dad, has been resolved, because that will affect anyone, especially a teenager. It looks as if he's recovered from his injury. His team and his coach seems to be making all the right decisions, and he seems to be back. His current coach is Ronaldo Walcott, and it is Ronaldo Walcott who I think told the Star that Sachin is rediscovering himself. Remember, as I said to you, he was injured, and that sidelined him, by the way, for over a year. And remember, I've always said on this channel that the bane of every athlete is injury. Injury is not just a physical thing to overcome, but also a psychological thing. So it took him almost 2 years to get back into the saddle. And to see him running at 10.15 this early in the season says to me that he's taking his time. Also, remember, I said that he had to be dealing with this issue between his parents that had been ongoing for many, many years. His mother told the TVJ Sports that they were having they had a custody issue with him for quite some time. At one point, she had not seen him for 18 months. And that's going to impact him also. So the physical injury and dealing with the psychological side effects of that injury, as well as his own personal issues between his mom and his dad. So I'm happy to see him back. Running that 10.15 says to me, yes, people. Given time, Sachin Dennis can become a world champion. Heck, he can become an Olympic gold medalist. Think about the time that this young man is running. If it weren't for that being sidelined by the injury, which took quite some time to recover from, and the whole issue between his parents, but the very fact that in 2021, the JOA Olympic Destiny Series 3, he runs that phenomenal 10.15, outrunning by maybe 5 meters people much more senior to him. 9 o'clock in the morning, and maybe his second or third race for the entire season. Now, unfortunately, we didn't see him at the National Olympic Trials, and I'm not sure. I've been trying to find out what happened. I'm hoping it is not injury, and maybe it's just that his coach and his team have said it's not time yet. Let's get you ready for the World Championships in 2022. But look, 14, fastest 14-year-old. 15, 10.20. 14, 21.10 in the 200 meters. Times consistently. After that injury, like I said, he would have beaten Christopher Taylor, and he would have run much faster than that 10. He would have run at least, I am thinking, a 10.9, somewhere around there. That's what I'm thinking. I think, given time to heal properly, he's going to do fine. It looks like he's doing okay. I'm hoping that he didn't opt out of the Olympic trials because of injury, and maybe it was just his coaching team who has said it's not time yet. But I'm telling you, people, if he remains growing at the level at which he's growing, he's going to be running. I see him running at a 9.77, 9.78. Remember, Peter Lloyd were the first people to tell you that. If Sachin Dennis gets back to absolute, injury-free, no psychological issues in terms of pressure, and as he matures, because he's just 19, he's a very young person who has gone through a lot in a very short period of time. But it was a great thing to see him run that 10.115. It said everything. It said he's back and he's getting back to that form. And if he can do that early in the season, if he remains healthy, he can run a 9.77. Now I know some of you guys say, really? Yeah. Yes, I am absolutely sure about that. I'm not a betting man, but if I were, I would bet that. So yes, he can become world champion. Of course, I would love to hear your opinion. I treasure hearing what you think. Please remember to hit that subscribe button. It is important. It's helping the channel to grow, and it's because of people like yourselves. We want to get to that 10,000 subs as soon as it's possible. Thank you. Keep hitting the subscribe button. If you enjoy the content, hit the like button. That engagement is really important to YouTube and the algorithms. It pushes out the content and it gets us out there. It's very, very important. And kings and queens, leave a comment. I learn a lot. If I made any mistakes, correct me. It's no problem. It's about sharing information here. And what I always say, as always, bless up. Yeah. Bless up yourselves, kings and queens. Bless up. Yeah.